How's it going, everybody? My name is FaZe Crypto. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Clout. Cardano ADA has got a lot of people talking. A lot of people have been bringing up the possibilities that are in store for Cardano's future. And personally, in my opinion, I'm very confident in the future that's in store for Cardano. When you take a look at what they're doing currently, it is really exciting to see the potential that's in store for it. I was looking at the various different news articles regarding Cardano, and it seems as if the conversation talking about the possibility for Cardano to replace Bitcoin really seems to be taking up a lot of the public conversation. Obviously, when I look at these different news articles, Crypto Recorder and so forth, I take mainstream news articles with a grain of salt quite often because these articles have a tendency to clickbait. But of course, it is an interesting indication of the public consciousness when it comes to the conversation that's happening about Cardano. And this really does play a long way into the development of the way that the people perceive these technologies. And when it comes to Cardano, I always think to myself about the history of cryptocurrency and how Bitcoin was essentially the first introduction to blockchain technology and digital, essentially digital gold. And then Ethereum is the development of smart contracts we see getting introduced. And now when I consider the next wave of something that could really revolutionize the way that cryptocurrencies are interacting with the real world, I'd consider Cardano one of the fundamental technologies that's interesting to see the things that are happening involving smart contracts and this new way of doing things. And in particular, Cardano has my attention because they seem as if they're really bundling all the different upper hands that we see as possible for basically cryptocurrencies in general. The way that Cardano has been positioning itself moving forward, I've been doing a lot of research regarding Cardano. It is definitely exciting to see how people have been talking about it. But like I said, always make sure that you do your own research when it comes to these technologies and don't get caught up in the hype. However, it is interesting to be seeing people talking about this sort of thing because on this show, we've basically talked about this possibility a few times before, talking about the possibility of Cardano overtaking Bitcoin in the long term as we see this sort of smart contract wave of cryptocurrency sort of starting to be introduced. And when in function, it really does seem to be weighed with an upper hand in the long term. And I think as we continue to see society coming along this trend of adapting to the various different technologies, Cardano is one that really has an interesting synchronicity when it comes to the way that things currently operate and how this technology could be introduced and really shift the way that people perceive the uses of data and so forth when it comes to cryptocurrency. So Cardano is definitely really exciting, especially in the current situation with the market cap where it is at 389. In particular, when you consider where it's been, it is interesting to see we still have maintained some of that growth that we were experiencing over the time span of April basically to May 11th. That was pretty much somewhere around the peak, and then we started to move downwards, of course. And I still consider ourselves in a period of sort of the correction that we've been witnessing happening since March, moving across the board. Of course, we were seeing the cryptocurrency market at its all-time high. Everybody remembers, and I definitely believe that it is potential in store to revisit those all-time highs. But of course, we are witnessing a community conversation involving basically people who are looking for a little bit more when it comes to their cryptocurrency. And I think Cardano definitely has something to offer, in particular with a lot of the various criticisms that have been pointed towards Bitcoin. Of course, I'm not going to shit on Bitcoin here. The Bitcoin definitely has its position in the number one. That's undeniable as it currently stands. And Bitcoin certainly is one of the key technologies that's moved us forward, respectively, in accordance with the public conversation. And everybody's heard of Bitcoin, of course, and this is one of those technologies that's introduced cryptocurrencies to the public. But of course, Cardano Cardano in the new era of cryptocurrency is definitely moving upwards, especially when it comes to what we've seen Ethereum do in regards to smart contracts, definitely paving the way. We've seen the potential that's in store for these various different applications of trust and so forth in regards to the way that business can be conducted. And of course, Cardano has a lot of various different developments that are in store for it moving along the way. So I would say that a 6-month time span moving forward, especially looking forward to 2019, 2020, these are going to be really significant years where we see cryptocurrencies really taking off, because of course we are in the early stages of cryptocurrency as things currently stand, and of course the way that things are functioning as of now are going to be significantly different when you consider the way that things are moving forward in the future. So it is also a positive to be involved with cryptocurrency at this current point in time. We should all consider ourselves lucky to have this perspective, because the way that things look currently, there is a lot of potential for shakeups in the top 10 cryptos in particular, and articles like these highlight that sort of thinking that's in the air for real volatility across the board, and that basically goes for every technology that's on here. So I'd always recommend doing your research when it comes to these technologies. Definitely go and make sure that you follow Cardano Foundation on their official Twitter. Cardano is a really great resource. Twitter is a really great resource, like I said, in basically staying up to date regarding these technologies and so forth. So I'd recommend following them on Twitter. And of course, make sure that you follow our new Twitter. We actually have a Twitter handle, Crypto Clout, now, in particular for this show, where we talk about the various cryptocurrencies that, they got clout. And I definitely say that Cardano has clout. And I'll be including the link to the new Twitter as the first link in the description, as always. And of course, the main Twitter is still up and running at CryptoTuber for anybody who isn't already a member of the community that we've been building. And it's important to build, platform and basically audiences across various different platforms. That's why we've been expanding and reaching out to different YouTube channels and so forth. It's always important to basically have a strong community, and of course, make sure that you follow all of Cardano's various ADA, Twitter, and so forth. Anything that you see on Crypto Market Cap promoted under the social tab, it's pretty much an interesting, valid resource. But of course, I'd recommend looking even further and verifying all the information that you find. And in the spirit of sharing different opinions and different perspectives, I'm actually going to be including a link to this video by DustyBC. I found that this was a really informative video. It's a 10-minute long video, so it's a lot like this one, but it really goes into interesting detail regarding the potential that's in store for these technologies and so forth. So yeah, in the spirit of sharing different opinions, I'll be including a link to this video down in the description as well. So for anybody who's interested, talks about the possibility of Cardano overtaking Bitcoin within 1 year, which is interesting. It is interesting to see this sort of thing coming out, especially when it comes to the I think that Cardano has a really great team behind it. I would say that in particular the various different elements of it as it's moving forward. My analysis of this, as it is with most cryptocurrencies, my analysis is fundamentally data driven, and I find that it's important to look into the team that's working on these technologies. And I would say that there's a lot of promising things in store for Cardano when you look at the various different variables that have been coming into coordination in this time, especially in the light of where we are when it comes to cryptocurrency. But all that being said, I just have to remind everybody, standard disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is not financial advice. This content exists for educational, entertainment purposes only. And remember, basically, I'm not your dad, and I'd recommend that you do your own research when it comes to these technologies, of course, and find your own sources, because YouTube videos are really great when it comes to basically hearing various different opinions, but that's all they are. They're just YouTube videos. You need to find your information at more validated resources as well, and weigh all these different variables and opinions and basically come to your own conclusion, because you're responsible for yourself. And I think that this community pretty much understands that to a high extent, but of course it is important to repeat for those of us who don't understand. So anyway, my opinion regarding Cardano is fundamentally positive. I would say that the various different, as an international cryptocurrency, we could see the whole world basically, Cardano is essentially leveraging the cryptocurrency, the different things that are made available by smart contracts in a way that's fundamentally interesting as far as I'm concerned. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how these things are going to be operating moving forward within the time frame of a year in particular. Yeah, so all that being said, make sure that you follow the Twitter and so forth. I'll be including a link to this new Twitter down in the description, of course, for anybody who's interested in joining the community on there. And remember, let me know, send me any links to any YouTubers that you think we should shout out in the future. Just send me those links on Twitter, and I'd be happy to review them. And yeah, all that being said, if you talk about cryptocurrencies yourself, don't hesitate to hit us up on Twitter, and perhaps you can get yourself a spot, a featured video on one of these different YouTube channels that we're going to be growing as the summer moves on. So a lot of different things to look forward to, a lot of different opportunities for anybody who's interested in being a cryptocurrency commentator and creating content. As long as you have good content, it's always interesting to get into communication. And of course, we'll be doing different interviews on various different live streams moving forward this summer. So a lot of different things to look forward to. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and of course comment down below letting us know what you think about Cardano and so forth. And I hope you guys enjoy the content. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.